If you just finished watching Tron Ares and you found yourself asking, how is Jared Leto looking so good at 50 years old? And also, what the hell is this movie about? Well then, fam, I got you, because this is going to be an explainer video on Tron Ares. This is Tron Ares Explained, the Pursuit of Meaning. Okay, before we dive in, I just want to say that Tron Ares is an okay movie that could have been great. So don't get me wrong, I totally understand the difficult task of being a sequel to Tron Legacy, and at the same time, you're also a reboot for a brand new Tron franchise. They're just juggling a lot of things in this movie, and I feel like that's one of the things that made the movie take a step back. This unique predicament where the plot needs to juggle a lot of character motivations and arcs really doesn't help the audience latch on to what the movie is trying to say. However, I do think it's kinda poetic that a movie that struggles to find its message and purpose does a serviceable reflection on finding meaning and purpose. Let's talk about it. At its core, Tron Ares, for me at least, is a story about someone who is finding what existence is and what it means to be human. Going back, one of the sexiest 53-year-old men ever, Jared Leto plays Ares, Dillinger Systems Master Control, a super hot AI that is basically digital Captain America, with long hair and beard and all. Ares begins to grow as an independent thinker after realizing that his creator does not care about him. Does that sound familiar? Look at yourself in the mirror. That's us, baby. For us to make sense of what the movie's meaning is, we'll talk about philosophers Albert Camus and Friedrich Nietzsche. Let me explain. Ares graduates from obedient routine into dangerous curiosity. And that shift is quiet and loud all at once. Think Camus' ideas on repetitive labor and the strange freedom that comes from owning it. And at the same time, the film nods to Nietzsche's old punchline about meaning. Whoever has a why can endure anyhow. This is why, even though Ares does not start with a concrete why, he moves bravely towards one. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Or in this case, one must imagine Ares happy. Because his relentless attempt to find his why will only strengthen him, or at least make him more complete. The core of Tron Ares is movement. Not just light cycles or CGI fireworks, but the emotional forward motion of purpose forming. Ares' first act is mechanical: execute, obey, optimize. While his second act is human adjacent: hesitate, doubt, ask. See, at the heart of Tron Ares is movement, and it's not just physical movement, but emotional growth. Which is why the movie's pace is also very fast. And I think it's a decision made by the director to reflect this idea that they're trying to portray. At first, Ares is everything a program is supposed to be: obedient, efficient, unquestioning. He follows commands without hesitation. But as the story unfolds, that changes. He starts to pause, to doubt, and to ask. That shift is the real engine of the film. Because purpose, as Tron Ares shows us, isn't something you simply find waiting for you. It's something that you build piece by piece with every decision that you make. The world Ares lives in is cold and meaningless. Rules without reason and systems without soul. It's basically nihilism territory. But instead of shutting down, Ares fights back in small human ways. He chooses, he creates, he challenges, and he disobeys. And as Viktor Frankl said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And that's exactly what Ares basically does in the movie. This is where the film gets a little clever. It uses an AI program to reflect something deeply human: our fragility and our need to ask why. Philosophers have long debated whether a machine that questions could ever truly feel. And Tron Ares doesn't hand us an easy answer. But it does show us that the act of questioning gives his existence more weight. Because it makes his choices matter next. And that leads us to the film's boldest message. Not knowing your purpose does not mean you don't have one. Camus would call that defiance, the refusal to give up in the face of uncertainty. Frankl would call it meaning making, the idea that purpose is born from how we respond to life, even when the only choice is how to take the next step. So if you're young and lost, like me, or stuck in a world that feels too big to matter in, don't mistake that feeling for emptiness, because Tron is a bright neon reminder that purpose isn't something for you to wait to discover. It's something that you build, and it's something that you move towards to. One choice, one question, one act of care at a time. Aries doesn't stumble upon a grand answer. He builds one through the act of moving forward. And though Tron Aries is a bit of a mess and it's a bit of unfocused, it does tell a good message. Stop waiting to be chosen. You choose. Push forward. And maybe, just maybe, have fun while you're pushing that rock up the hill. So that's Tron Aries explained. Have you seen the movie? Comment below and let me know. What do you think the movie is trying to say? Are we actually in the right perspective where the movie is trying to tell us about meaning? Or is it something about grief? Because the movie tries to touch on that too. Comment below and let us know. And as always, I'm Miga and that has been VRSUS One Shot.